Welcome back to the channel. I have Rupert Lowe MP with me. Rupert, how are you doing today?
Very well. It's a delight to be back on your show, as always.
It's my pleasure. And congratulations on the launch of Restore Britain and almost 75,000 followers now on X or Twitter, if people insist. But I'd like to talk to you today about what it is and what it's not. A lot of people in the threads have been referring to it as a political party, but it isn't a political party, is it? So that's why I'd like to have you on and talk about what it is.
Well, I think it's quite clear that it's not a political party, and we've actually made that pretty clear in the announcement early on in the statement. It's a movement, and it's very different from a political party. It initially, I think a lot of people are now understanding what we're trying to achieve, but there is certainly a few journalists who have been asking me whether I'm going to be representing Restore Britain in Parliament, and I say no, I'm an independent MP. Restore Britain is not a political party; it is a movement. And the objective of the movement, I think we've got enough political parties, we've got enough egos flying around. I think all of us know that Britain has gone badly wrong, and we're losing something that we all cherish. So my view and vision was that we should set up a movement, and the movement is to unite, not divide. It's to unite those people who care about their country and who want it back in a common purpose, which is to play a big part. And the more members we've got, the bigger part we can play. So the more people show that they agree with what we're trying to do, the more we have in terms of weight of numbers, but also more of a war chest. And we've had some criticism from some people saying, "Why are you charging £20?" Well, I say for the price of two what I would call overpriced pints of beer, ask yourself, is your country worth that? And I've already underwritten a lot of it. I've put a lot of my own finance into getting to where we've got to. And what I now would like to see is those people who share my view and my vision for a restoration of Britain to what it used to be. I'd like them to now play a part. And I think they can do that by subscribing. Eventually, we're going to try and get some discussion going on what policies people want to see. This was the essence of my disagreement with reform. They didn't seem to be interested in policy, which I was. I think if we're to save the country, and we've got to do it before 29, we need to have a plan. We need to have policies. We need to have a structure. And if we can unify people behind a common purpose, it makes life so much easier. So I'm appealing to people from cross-party. I don't mind whether they're from Labour. We've got some people from Labour who've signed up. I don't mind whether they're Reform. We've got some people from Reform who've signed up. Some Tories. You've probably seen Susan Hall has joined our advisory board. I've got another announcement of somebody who's agreed to do that today, which should be coming through shortly, which I'm very excited about. And I'm looking for people who want to understand the depth of the problems, but hopefully can put a positive spin on how we actually all work together to resolve it. And I don't think we're going to do that if we have lots of competing parties looking to criticize and attack each other. I think we need more unity and more sort of common purpose, if you like. That's why it's a movement. Now, that doesn't mean to say the movement can't itself turn into a party. It might take over another party. It might align itself with another party. But what we in the short term need to do is to, I think, focus the concern that people have. As I said earlier, people know they've lost something. It's gone. It's slipped through our fingers. We've got malign government now. I don't think Parliament's functional. Obviously, we've got the blob, we've got the civil service. I think we've got the judiciary that's now out of control. The police, which having had a bit of interaction with them myself, I think they're not what they should be. But in the end, people take their lead from their leaders, and I think the leaders are where things have gone wrong. So all down this chain, this sort of Blairite and Brownite blob of people who ultimately Keir Starmer is now serving, I think they've lost the important sort of message, which should be that they're serving the people, not oppressing the people. So I think the people have now got to show that they're not going to put up with it anymore. And I'm trying to act as a lightning rod to give them an opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. And I think that, to me, this seems reminiscent of what I've done on another channel, plug my own channel here, my off the record channel. I felt that people wanted a view, and they wanted to hear my view. They want to hear your view, Rupert, and they want to air their views. And so I set up my off the record channel, and that exploded overnight, much as your movement here has, with just tipped over 75 while I'm looking at it now, 75,000 on X here, live as we're talking. But it feels to me that people do want to have their say. They want to air their views, and they want a say in something. Now, just for a moment, something really cool. As a barrister and a content creator, I am always on the phone, in meetings, conducting case reviews, doing research, and so I can't afford to miss a single detail. And that's why I use Claude Note. It's a really smart AI device which records and transcribes everything, including phone calls by bone conduction technology, completely hands-free. Now, this part's really important because when I sit down and speak with somebody, I want them to feel really at ease. And so, of course, I will tell them when I'm recording, but I don't want to use my phone to record because it's too obvious, it's off-putting, and it makes people feel nervous. Now, Claude Note will quietly attach to my phone and records without drawing any attention whatsoever. It is less distracting, but it still gets the job done. In meetings or during my research, Claude Note will do all of the heavy lifting. It's got real-time transcription, smart AI summaries, even separating speakers by voice. If I'm on the phone, it will itemize who said what, so I can stay engaged without fumbling around making a note of what somebody said. What's even more cool than that is I could ask the AI anything about what it's recorded. I could ask about the delivery date or whether there are any special instructions for that delivery, and within seconds it will pull the answer straight from the past recordings and transcription. And if you want something even more discreet, whether that's interviews, conferences or workshops, you can use Note Pin. Even more discreet and still just as reliable. It supports up to 112 languages, records up to 4 hours per session, and gives you 300 minutes of transcription time every single month. Every file is securely encrypted and recorded, fully HIPAA and SOC 2 compliant. And if you act fast, I've secured you a 22% discount between the 1st of July and the 7th of July using the code BBB22. And there's a general discount of 20% between the 8th of July and the 11th of July. The link's in the description below. Honestly, this is like having a smart assistant with you all the time, taking notes, transcribing everything into neat, digestible documents. It's practical, it's private, and indeed it's powerful. If your work relies on detail and taking detailed notes, this is an absolute no-brainer. Before I move on about that, just a brief point on the money. As I responded to someone else on X, everything needs a little bit of money to make it work. I don't think anybody should in any way criticize that there is a fee to join something, much as I have memberships on my channel. People pay membership to my channel, my website, whatever. Everything needs a little bit of money to move and to move forward. I don't think there should be any criticism there. So as an advocate, I will say that for you. As for people airing their views, having their say, voting on policies, I noticed, I was reading through some of the things. Some things are very divisive, and some things I think a lot of people are afraid to say, but certainly think. The Rudakubana and return of the death penalty. I did raise my eyebrows about that because not because I disagree with you necessarily, but I think a lot of people will be thinking it and not want to say it, and therefore they might now have the platform to say it. So walk us through practically a little bit about how people, if they join Restore Britain, how they will air that view, how they will vote on policies, and what you can actually do with those when they come forward.
We haven't refined that yet in terms of, we've got this app that's going to effectively move, as we say, towards more of a direct democracy app. That doesn't mean to say that people will actually necessarily be able to structure policy for themselves, but we certainly want them to have a say on the policy. I think initially we've got to find the balance between calling out what's badly wrong and not ending up, if you like, denigrating the great country that we have got, the remnants of it that we want to restore. So we've got to walk that line, I think, between identifying the problems and having some form of optimism about the solutions. So some of the stuff some people may not like, but I think at the end of the day, these are policies that we're going to push out there. And as we go on, people can then obviously debate them. And not everybody's going to agree with every policy, but that doesn't mean to say that they should stop supporting the party. The party's objective is to sound people out. They can express their views, they can express their opinions, and if they can win over the majority of people, then it leaves us open to, if you like, craft policy without necessarily being dogmatic about it. But I think we're going to progressively call out policies during the course of the next week or two. I mean, one that's coming shortly, I can tell you, is sort of an Englishman's home is his castle, which again I feel very strongly about. So again, we're going to push these ideas out as what we think should be policy, and then hopefully it will act as a sort of catalyst for discussion once our membership grows in size and people feel they can start to contribute. That's the plan. I don't think we've actually refined how that's going to happen. It's a big call. I mean, look, I should pay credit to my team. I've got an incredibly small team. There's literally 5 of us. I think we were wargaming all day yesterday, with the very generous help of somebody who lent us an extremely comfortable air-conditioned office, which I was very glad about. And we did a hell of a lot. And I'm got to thank my team. They have been absolutely outstanding, every single one of them. And the whole point about this new movement is it is not about any one person. This is about bringing together a collective will to change for the better the way we're governed. And I do think we all know it's going wrong. We can all put our fingers on it every day. It's not what it used to be. The accountability isn't there. The state is oppressing the individual. I don't think that the police, the judiciary, they don't apply the same rules themselves. They certainly don't apply the Nolan principles, which they should be their guiding light. So I'm hoping we can create this movement, and the more people sign up to it, the more power it's going to have to affect the way in which we eventually influence the next government. And I must underline the fact we haven't got the benefit of an unlimited amount of time. I think the sort of bile that's seeped into the bloodstream of Britain is running too deep, and every day it gets deeper. So we've got to expunge that before it actually does us terminal damage. And I don't see beyond 29 that this country can really take too much more. I think we are probably dining in the last chance saloon. So I would urge people, if they agree with what I'm saying, and I see it every day, I find it incredible that I've gone into Parliament, and I've been in Parliament even today less than a year. I mean, I'm not particularly bright or able, but I've got a strong view that things aren't right. I see it every day in my businesses, in the relationships we have with, the HMRC, with almost every organ of the state, the amount of sort of frictional cost and obstruction they put in the way of people trying to innovate, take risk, and grow their businesses to the benefit of the economy. So I just stood up and said what I think in Parliament, and I just think the truth is so powerful that it's actually shocked quite a lot of people in Parliament who'd become completely detached from what I call mainstream Britain. And I guess those are the people I'm appealing to, because if they want their country back, they need to sign up and they need to start to support what we're doing. And it's a peaceful, unifying way of doing it. I don't think we want lots of a sort of confrontation. I think we'd rather do it by collective will. And I think it's possible that we can make a big difference. But obviously, if that's not what people want, they're not going to sign up, and it will fizzle out and go nowhere. So I guess that's where we are really, and that's why going down the rabbit hole of a party I thought was not right. And that was the intellectual difference I had with Ben Habib, who's a very good man. He wanted a party. I wanted a movement, and I'm trying in the best way I can to explain to people, everywhere, why a movement is potentially what we need, not a new party. We've got enough parties; they just need to be run by sensible people.
Absolutely, and I think that really does pull through the idea of people airing their views and sort of having their say, or having somebody to put their say across through. And so I think this will work. I wish you the very best of luck with it. People can pop over here and join up there. Just this is not sponsored, obviously, just for the argument's sake. But for £20 to sign up and put your say forward, I think that is the right way forward, other than another party. But Rupert, thank you very much for joining me.
You can join the Cromwell. You can join the Cromwell Club, which is, I think we've got quite a few members of the Cromwell Club. The Cromwell Club is named after my dear dog, who, if you read the media, was sadly departed us at the age of 17, which is probably 4 years longer than most Labradors live. So we thought in his memory we'd have the Cromwell Club, and there are quite a few members who are prepared to pay £2,500, but that's a bridge which is far too far for a lot of people. But they're all welcome too, and we've got a number of those. If you like, the downside for them is they've probably got to have dinner with me once a year, which they may or may not enjoy. But that's the plan.
It sounds fantastic. Well, very best of luck, and I'll put the links in the description. Thank you for joining me. You're welcome back anytime.
Pleasure. Well, very nice, and thanks for the interest you've taken. And let's see where we go. But it's certainly gone as well as we could have hoped. And I'm, as I say, eternally grateful to those people who signed up and to my team who've done a really fantastic job.
Yeah, well, my thanks to them as well. So I'll put those links below, and thank you very much. And I look forward to coming back again.
All the best. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.